Hello everyone and welcome to this video tutorial where I'm going to be walking you step by step how to create a service-based website using WordPress and Elementor Page Builder. So when we talk about a service-based business, it could range from professional services like maybe law, accounting, consulting, okay, and it could also be tech. Maybe you're into web design, you want to create a website for a website design agency, or you want to create a website for a personal care, maybe like a pet service, like an hair salon or a spa, cleaning service, anti service, repair service, all these kinds of services, okay, and you're looking forward to creating a website for them. I'm going to be walking you through how you can create a professional looking website that will stand out and even rank well on engine and get you more leads and much more. All right, so if that interests you, do make sure you watch the video to the end. If you are new to this channel or you are yet to subscribe to the channel, can you go ahead right now, click on that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel. All right, and also give the video a thumbs up. All right, so let me show you website we are going to be making reference to. All right, so right here is a website we are going to be making reference to. What you can see here is a service-based website, basically a plumbing website. So this is the home page. This is what it's looking like. All right, so here you can see trusted, reliable plumbing services. So irrespective of the service that you are creating, all right, you can still use the knowledge you are going to be getting in this video to create any kind of service-based website. For example, here we have trusted, reliable plumbing services. Maybe yours is a salon service or a pet service. You can have it as trusted, reliable pet services. I hope you get the concept. All right, and then you put in a text here. You can have a get a quote or contact us, whichever button you want to use. You can do it. One of the basic things you might just need to do is just to update the information and the images. And when it comes to information, you can always use your ChatGPT to get content for your website. All right, so you can just go on ChatGPT and put in a prompt like, I like to put a prompt that looks as if I'm talking to someone on ChatGPT. You can go to ChatGPT and put in, all right, I'm working on and you put the name of your service or a website on an accounting service website, and I need content for all the pages of the website. Make sure the content is professional with SEO keyword. You can put in something like a prompt like that, and to generate you a list of content for all the pages. That will also give you an idea on what you can use to replace any of these text that you're seeing. And in terms of images, okay, so if you need images for your website, you can go to website like pixels.com, on splash.com, and Pixabay. Those three websites comes highly recommendable for images. You can also check out freepik.com. You also get quality images that you can use for your website. All right, so you can see it. Let me take you through all the sections. You can see this is an about us section, just an intro into the about. We have this counter. All right, you can see 100 years of experience. I'll also walk you through how to update all this information. You can see then exceptional plumbing services. So right here you can have a list of okay, not here, you have here, right there, you can have a list of your services. You just introduce a few of them, and then this link will take them to your services page itself. Right, and then you can have this call to action where they can also contact you or get in touch with you. Your trusted partner. Here you can put in a logo of some businesses that you worked with or that you've partnered with. All right, and then you can have here your testimonial, your FAQ. Every business must have FAQ based on what customers mostly ask you when they reach out to you. You can use this to answer their question and clear their doubts, and you can see followed by another call to action where they can also get in touch with you. Okay, and right here you can see you can put in images of while you're at work or images related to the kind of service that you offer. And right here we just have our footer. Okay, you can have your logo, short description, your social icon, some of these quick links. You can use here to put in some of those services, right, that you offer, and then your contact details. All right, so you can see this website has all the information that you need as a service. Okay, so that once a customer or client comes on your website, they can be sure that they are dealing with a real and a professional business. All right, so away from the home page, this is what the about us page looks like. All right, so this is the about us page. You can have why choose us, our mission. Okay, then our services page itself. Here you can now list all your services. All right, and if you want to create a dedicated page for all the services where you're still going to talk about each of them, you can also do that. And then this is the FAQ page itself. Okay, so compared to the one that we have on the home page where the FAQ, let me show you again, you can see just 5 FAQ, but you can have a dedicated page where you have a list of all possible FAQ, that's frequently asked questions, that you can just put in the question and then the answer right there. Okay, then we have, you want to add a blog section to your website. You can see it, you can also do that. And this is what the contact page looks like. There you're going to have your address, your phone number, and then your email, and then the form where they can just fill to send you a message directly. And if you want to include this map, that's fine. And then we have this section and our footer. So all of these are what I'm going to be putting you through in the course of this video. To start with creating any website, there are two things that you are going to need. Number one, you are going to need your domain name, and number two, you are going to need hosting. So when we talk about domain name simply means your website name. Okay, so if someone wants to access your website, what they are going to put into their browser, what they are going to type into your browser is what we refer to as domain name. For example, if you want to access Facebook, you need to go to your browser and type in facebook.com. If you want to access Google, you go to your browser, enter google.com, or maybe it's BBC, you go to bbc.com or .org. You see, those words that you are typing is what we refer to as your domain name. That's the first one you are going to need. Another thing is your hosting. Now, this website you just take a look at now, you can see all these images you are going to be uploading, the text, the layout and the design, everything that you're going to be using to create and design your website. They have been stored somewhere, making it easy for people to access your website over the internet. All right. So where all this information are being stored, are kept, is what we refer to as hosting. That's just a simple, not technical way of explaining what hosting is. All right. So that's what we mean by hosting. So to get these two things, a platform come highly recommendable. Basically, they are going to be giving you hosting, and if you get your hosting from them, you are going to be getting a free domain. All right, and the hosting is also going to be coming at a discounted rate of as high as 75% discount. Okay, so to get started with getting your domain and hosting, so just come over to those websites, akprosperblog.com/hosting, and then you'll be taken to this page. You can see here hosting here. This is currently one of the best hosting platforms that you can find on the internet right now. They offer the best and quality hosting service. So if you're here, you see it, and you're getting 75% off hosting plus AI website builder. Okay, so once you are here, if you click on start now, here you'll be taken to the different pricing and the plan. All right, so we have the basic plan, the growth plus AI, and then the scale plus AI. Now, since we are working on e-commerce platform, I would recommend you go with the growth.ai. Now, if you check the difference between the three plans, you'll see it right here. Now, if you look at this basic plan, remember we are creating e-commerce website. You can see for e-commerce, and then this is checked for e-commerce. Okay, so that means this has more features that we need to actually get us started. All right, and then maybe later on you can decide to go up with this scale plus AI. So since you are just starting out, this is okay. Now you can see you are also going to be getting a free domain for the first year. And remember, like I said earlier, you are going to be needing two things: your domain name and your hosting. So they are providing us with hosting, and then we are also going to be getting a free domain for the first year. And then you can also use this same plan to create up to 50 websites. So maybe once you are done with your first website and you want to create another website, you don't need to come back and purchase another hosting. With the same hosting plan, you can create up to 50 websites. Okay, so you can see these are some other features that comes with it. Basic e-commerce, business email, 5 minutes backups per year, daily backup. You get up to 50 gig of storage, and then you get priority support, team collaboration, and the likes. Okay, compared to the basic plan. So what you do once you are here, just go ahead and click on choose plan. So once this page open up, the next thing you're supposed to do is to choose the period. How long do you want to purchase this hosting? Now, if you click here, you are going to have the option of choosing 1 month, 12 months, 24 months, and 48 months plan. Now, remember, you are getting a free domain. So for you to get a free domain, you have to pick anything from the 12 months plan. Okay, that's what is going to give you the free domain. Like you see it here, domain name, you won't be charged for it. You're getting a free domain. However, if you are thinking on long term, okay, I'll recommend you go with either the 24 or 48 months plan. That's if you are thinking of, the website on a long-term basis. And also choosing the 24 or 48 months plan will also increase the discounts you're going to be getting. Okay, for example, now for 12 months, your total is $59.88. But if you go with 24 months, that's 107.76. And then if you choose to go with the 48 months plan, that's $181.92. Okay, and you're also going to be getting plus 3 months free hosting. Okay, so the higher plan you choose, the more discount you're going to be getting. For example, on the 48-month plan now, you are saving as high as $489. Okay, so just make sure you choose anything from 24 to 48. That's what I'm actually recommending. Okay, so depending on your budget anyway, but those are the two. So once you have choose any of uh the plan that you want to go with, okay, then you can come over here and then you click on continue. So on this page now, you're going to be prompted to create an account. So here you put in your email address and your password. So you need to take note of the email address and the password you want to use to create your account with them. Okay. So once you do that, you put in your email address and your password, and then you click on register. Once you've completed the registration process and then you've verified your email, the next page you're going to be coming is where you're going to put in your billing address. So that's your name, your last name, your country, your phone number. You just fill in all of these details. Once you are done with them, you click on the continue, and then you'll be able to make your payment. So there are different payment options that will be available to you depending on your country. Okay, so you can pay with your card. There's option of PayPal, there's option of Google Pay, OPay. I think this is available because of the country, my country. So we also have Alipay and then CoinGate. So whatever country you're actually watching from, you definitely see a payment system that will definitely work for you. So choose whichever one that works best for you, and then you'll be able to check out. Okay, so you can see once you put in your either your pay with card and then you submit your payment, then you'll be able to purchase your hosting plan. Once you have completed the payment process of paying for your domain, okay, so once you've completed the billing process, the next thing you're going to be getting access to your hosting dashboard, which is what you are seeing here. So once you're on this page, you see all of these options here: your home, website, domain, horizon, emails, and the likes. So where we are coming is you click on websites. So once you are here, you see this option to add website. So go ahead and click on add website. Now all these options will pop up. We have WordPress, Hostinger website builder. So what we want to go with is WordPress. Now you see some of this survey or questionnaire, so you can decide to skip them or answer them. So let's say I'm creating for myself or my business, go to next. So now the next phase now is for you to create an account. Now this information is what you are going to be using to log in into your WordPress website itself. Okay, so here you put in your email. You can see it here, WordPress email, admin email, and then your administrator password. Now one thing I would advise is make sure that whatever password you're using here, you take note of the password. Okay, so by default they'll generate a password for you. Okay, but you can go ahead and create your own password. All right, then make sure your password fulfill all of this information: one number, one symbol, one uppercase letter, one Latin letter, and then between 8 to 50 character. Okay, so one only Latin character. Okay, and then one symbol. So the symbol can be anything, full stop, and all of this symbol sign. So once you fill in all of this information, you click on next. Now you'll be asked to create with a website with AI, pre-built website and theme. So just click on create a blank site. All right. So now the next thing is this. Now they're asking that what domain or subdomain would you like to use? Now there are three options here. You can see number one, it said claim your free domain, buy a new domain, or confirm a domain you already own. Now let me explain the three to you. Now if you've purchased your hosting, so that means you can go ahead and claim your free domain. So what you do is you put in the domain that you want to use. Okay, let's say for example this is the domain you want to use. Maybe you want to use this domain now, so you go ahead and put in the domain. If the domain is available, you see the option here with claim, so you click on claim. All right, so that's the first option. Now the second one says buy a new domain. Now this buy a new domain is when you want to create maybe your second website. Okay, maybe you've already claimed your free domain and then you want to create another website, you can go ahead and purchase another domain from them also. They also offer that service. All right, now the third one is confirm a domain you already own. Now maybe you already have a domain already, which is what I want to do. For example, I already have this domain gpt.com, and that's what I want to use. So I'll just go ahead and put in the domain. So you can see, do you own this domain? Use it. So I'll click on it. So you can see the domain is registered at another provider. You need to verify you own it when you connect it to your site. So that's letting you know if you have a domain on another platform, maybe you have a domain from GoDaddy, from Bluehost, or from other platforms, you can also use it. All right, so and that's what I'm doing. So you can see it here. I've put in this domain. I actually have this domain on another platform, Dynadot. Okay, So what I'll just do is then you go ahead and click on install WordPress. So with that now, our WordPress installation is in progress. So you can see it here 6%, 7%, 8%. So I'll just pause the video and let it to go to 100, but it takes less than 2-3 minutes. Okay. So guys, if you are finding value in this video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Once you are done with the installation process, you are going to be redirected to this page. So you can see onboarding. So there are a few things that we need to do once you have been redirected to this page, right? So I also want to mention that once you are on this page, and if you check your browser tab, all right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you check here and you are not seeing your domain name, maybe you are seeing some random text and then /wp admin and the likes. So basically what is happening is that once we install a new domain on a hosting, okay, sometimes it takes some considerable amount of time for it to propagate, maybe like 30 minutes, an hour, maybe 24 hours. Okay, so what they do is that instead of you to wait, because that's the practice before now, once you install WordPress, you need to wait for some minutes or hours so that it can propagate before you continue with your design process, but now you don't need to wait. So what they did was to provide you with a temporary domain so that you can continue working on your website. All right, so you don't need to wait. So what you do is maybe after 30 minutes or 1 hour, all right, so you can go back to your host thing to log in, or you just go to your browser and type in your domain name /wp-admin, right? And then you'll be prompted to either log in, or you might just log in directly, and then you see that your domain name will appear, right? So that's one thing you need to take note of. So another thing you might also want to do is right here at the upper right of your screen, you see maybe your email or probably whatever you use as your username. So you might want to change that, okay? Because once you are on your blog, so let me use this reference website to show you. Now let me come over to blogs. So that once you're on your blog page, you can see instead of showing maybe your username, you might want to change it to something that looks related to your website. All right. So for example, I can come here now, over it, click on edit profile. So basically what I want to do now is to edit our profile. All right. So in the midst of that, there are other options that you'll find here. Number one is the administration color scheme. So it's set to default, which is this color you are seeing, the blue and the black. So if you want the light or you want the midnight, okay, depending on the kind of color that you are convenient with, okay, you can see there's this color, there's coffee. All right, so it all depends on you, but I'm okay with the default. So we also have this language is set to default. If you want to change the language, I think at the back end, you can also do that here. Okay, then this is the username. We can't change the username, which is what you are seeing right here. But if you want to add maybe like a nickname or a first name or a last name, so I can put this like, okay, like let's say Prosper Plumbing. So let me just say that's the name of the business, or maybe I just want to use my name itself. Okay, so you can also put it here. So then you come to display name publicly as. So once you click here, whatever name that you put here to show the possible combination, and then you can choose from it. All right, so then we also have the admin email. This is it right here. If you need to change it, you can also go ahead and change it from here. Also about yourself, maybe like your biographical info, your profile picture, if you want to put that here. And if you need to reset your password, this is where you can also do that. So what you just do once you are done is make sure you update your profile. All right, so there's also this option where you can log out of your device from, maybe you log in from different device or location, you can log out everywhere else. All right, so whatever changes you do here, just go ahead and update it. And if you now look at the upper right, you can see we are having Prosper Plumbing. So it makes more sense, especially as a business. Okay, you can just use something that best fits, your business. So if I should come back to the screen that we were before, so I'll just come over here and click on this Hostinger. So you can see onboarding. So the next thing I want us to do is to come over to plugins. Basically, there are some plugins I want us to uninstall. You can see all these plugins that has to do with Hostinger. So we'll have to check everything. So once you check them, you come to bulk action. Then you click on deactivate. Now this light speed catch, so just leave it, is a catching plugin. Okay, so once you click on deactivate, you click on apply. All right, then we also click on it again, and then come to bulk action, we select delete, and then we click on apply. Then press OK. So basically, plugins are apps that add more functionalities to your website. Okay, so as we progress, that we start to add more plugins, you're going to understand how they work. There are a whole lot of them that you can actually make use of. But like I said, there are apps that add more functionalities to your website. Let me give you a practical example. On your phone, you have different apps. If you want to take a picture, you need to use your camera app. If you want to send a message, maybe a WhatsApp message, you need to open the WhatsApp app. So that is how these plugins also work. They We have a whole lot of them. Once we start installing them, I'll tell you what they do so that you can understand the function and the effect they add to your website. Okay, so I haven't done that. So let me walk you through some of these options you are seeing now. I can come back to my dashboard. Okay, so if I click on dashboard, you can see welcome to WordPress and a list of all this other information right here. Now, if you don't want to see all this information, you can come over to, you can dismiss this. Some of them, you can't dismiss them. You can just hide them like this. Okay, but if you don't want to see them at all, okay, you come to screen up options. So you can uncheck anyone that you don't want. But if there's anyone that you want to see, you can just leave them. All right. So if there's anyone you don't want, you can just uncheck them. Right. And then you click this to return. So we have a cleaner dashboard. All right. So away from that, we have a lot of options here: dashboard, post, media, pages, comment. So let me walk you through all of these options real quick, because once we start to install more plugins and more themes, we are going to be seeing more options here. So before we get to that stage where you might be confused, let me tell you what you can see here, because all these are defaults that will show up. Number one, we have the dashboard, and this is what we are seeing right here. Number two, we have post. So this is where you are going to be seeing all your blog posts. All right. So by default, we have this blog post that is here, this hello world. All right. So you can always trash it or delete it. Okay. But if you also want to create your own blog post, so just come over here to click on add post. So this page will open up, and this is where you're going to put in your blog post title. So you can say, okay, let's washing hand basin. All right. So you can put in your title, then you come over here and put in the content of your website, of your blog post. So you can enter your content for your blog post. If you want to add images, so once this plus appear, click on it, and then you see the option to add image. So once you click here, you can upload image from your computer. Okay. Okay, so maybe this is the image that you want to upload. You can see you can upload it like that. If you want to continue with your text, once you click underneath, you can then continue to add some text. Also the image, you can, once you click on it, you can set the alignment. So you can see it here, maybe it's currently set to center. If you want it to be left aligned, you can do that. Okay. If you want to crop, there's an option to crop. If you want to make it a link so that once you click on the image, it sends you to a particular link, you can do that. If you want to reduce it, you can see there are a whole lot of customization options that you can do from there. All right. So once you put in all of these, apart from image, so apart from the image, if you click here also, you can also include some paragraph, list, gallery. We have heading. All right. So if you browse all, there are a lot of options that you can also make use of. Okay, depending on what you are working on. You have spacer. If you want to add some space, we have page break and a whole lot of other elements that you might want to put in your blog post. So if you check the right here, you can set how you want it to be. Currently set to the default. You scroll down. Okay, under posts now, this is where you're going to add your featured image. So for every blog now, this is a featured image. That's the image that is introducing that blog post. All right, it's what we refer to as featured image. So this is where you're going to put your featured image. So you click on select set featured image, and then you can decide to upload, or you can select from your media library. All right. So away from that, if you scroll down, this is to publish immediately. If you want to schedule it, just click on this immediately and select the dates and the time that you want the post to be published. All right. If you also scroll down, you can add a category for your post. All right. So that's a way of categorizing your blog post. So if you don't have any category, you can click here to add a new category. You put in the category name. So maybe for this category now, I want to call it hand basing. So basically what it means is that maybe any post that has to do with hand basing, I can put them under this category. Then I click on add category. So you can put a particular blog post under multiple categories. So that also works. If you want to add tags, you can also do that. So once you are done, just go ahead and click on publish and publish. All right. So with that, now you've been able to create your blog post. If you want to view it, so you can just click here to view your blog post. All right. So it's still showing like this because we are yet to install our theme. So once we install our theme, it will appear better. All right. So that's it on. Let me leave post. Okay. So that's how to create a post or how to create a blog post. All right. So there's something that I've not yet done. Okay. We are still going to come back there. So for media, so this is media. So if I should open up media, so this is where you're going to find all your media files. You can see the one we just uploaded. This is it right here. So your media, your images, your video, your PDF files. All right. This is once you upload them, you're going to find them here. Now I mentioned video, but I would advise you not to upload video directly into your WordPress website because it takes up so much space on your hosting and it can also make your website slow. All right, so instead of uploading your image directly, you can just upload them maybe on YouTube, Vimeo, or other video platform and then embed it into your website anywhere you want to put it. Okay, so the next one we have is pages. So under pages is where you're going to have your list of pages, your home, your about us. We are still going to come back here. Then for comments, so this is where you're going to find all the comments on your website. So maybe when you create a blog post and people drop a comment, this is where you're going to find them. You're going to see the notification right here that's okay. Maybe you have 1, 2, or 3 comments. You're going to see it there. So under appearance, we have theme and editor. Currently, we have only themes. Okay, this is where you're going to click to add a theme. And once we install our theme, you're still going to have more options under this appearance. So that's more reason why I'm going through it right now instead of later. So for plugins, I've talked about plugins. Then for user, so this is where you are going to add user to your website. Okay, so if you want to give someone else access to your website, to the back end of your website, maybe to manage it or to do something, this is where you are going to do that. And if you run an e-commerce website, for example, where people can create an account or log in, you see their login information right here. That's their username, their name, and their email, not their password. Okay, because I mentioned login information, but their password will not be revealed to you even as the site owner. All right, so if you want to add a user, come over here to click on add user. So you put in the 2 informations or 3 informations that are very required or needed are the username, the email, and then password. All right, so you put in the person's username, your email, so you can go ahead to fill in the first name, last name, their address. You put in your password and then their role. All right, so administrator is the highest level. Okay, but you can also give them editor, author, contributor, depending on the level of role that you want to give them or accessibility that you want to give them. For example, as a contributor, for instance, they can create a blog post, but they can't publish it. Okay, I think an editor or administrator will be able to publish the post that they created. All right, so there are different levels, whatever level you want to give them. So assign that level, and then you click on add user. All right, so that is it on user. So let me close that. So the next one we have is tools. So under tools, we have all these options, available tools, import. If you want to import anything or you want to export your website, you want to check your site health, you want to export some personal data, and all of these are available to you. Then we have these settings. Okay, we are still going to come back here. And then we have this light speed catch. Like I said, it's a caching plugin. One of the things I find useful in this plugin is in case you are making any changes to your website and then you are not seeing those changes taking effect, you can make use of this preset. Come to like presets and then click on apply presets. Okay, and then it will clear some of the caches that might be stopping your website from responding. Another way of doing this is from your back end of your host. Okay, I think that is closed already. You can also clear your cache from your host. Let me see if that is still loading. All right, so let me come back to settings. Now, under settings, we have the general, writing, reading, discussion, media. So let's come over to general. So once you're on general, this is where you're going to put in your site title. Now, you'll notice that this site title you're having here is the same thing that we're having here. So maybe if I want to change it to Prosper Plumbing. So I can just say add some, for SEO purpose, I can just say best plumbing services in Lagos, right? So I can put in something like that for SEO purposes, services. Okay. Now, once I save this, that's the name that this would appear in your browser tab, something like this. Okay. Although you can change it using Yoast SEO plugin, but you can, this your site title will also appear in your browser tab. So that was why I put in this keyword right here. Okay. Then your tagline, you can say in few words, explain what this site is about. All right. So you can put in what your website is about. You can give it a tagline. All right. So you can just put in, let's just say, professional plumbing services at its best, just a tagline. So the next one is for you to add a site icon. Your site icon could be your logo. So those are the image that appears, on your browser tab. All right. And then if you scroll down, this is okay, your site URL, your WordPress URL. So for this membership, anyone can register. Don't check this option, okay? Because if you check this option, people will be able to log in, and we are creating a normal website, not an e-commerce website or website that requires people to log in, okay, or to create an account. All right, so site language, if you need to change it, your time zone, your date format, your time format. All right, so if you like it the way it is, you can just leave it, and if you need to change it, that's fine. All right, and then your week starts on when you select that, and then you click on save. Okay, so basically those are the options that we might just need to update under these settings. The writing, reading, every other one here, they look okay the way they are, but if you just need to change anything, you can just go through them and then you're free. So let's come back to our dashboard. So the next thing we want to do is to install our theme. All right, so let's first of all take a look at our website. So to do that, once you over here, you see this option view site. So let me open that in a new tab. So presently, this is what our website looks like. Okay, so you can see that this is the first blog post that was created by default, and this is the one that we just created, just now. All right, so this is what our website currently looks like. All right, so the next thing we want to do is to install our theme. So we come back to our dashboard right here. So at any point in time, if you want to come back to this back end of your website, all right, so you just type in your domain name /wp-admin, all right, and then you log in, and then you'll be able to come back to this particular page. All right, so for you to install a theme, you come over to appearance, you see themes, so you select themes. So by default, you're going to see the theme for the last 3 years. This is 2025, 2024, and 2023. All right. So basically, your theme goes a long way in determining the layout, the design, and some functionalities for your website. Okay. Take for example also your phone. If you also install a theme on your phone, it kind of like changed the feel, the appearance, the layout of your website. Some themes will change the icons on your phone. It will change some of the way some of the things appear. All right. So the same thing happens right here. So we are currently on 2025 theme, and any theme you are using will be the first theme you see here. All right. So these other two themes, for example, if I should activate this 2024, if I click on activate now, you can see it's right here. That means we are on 2024 theme. So if I come back to this website, to our website now, if I should refresh it, you can see that it changes. Okay. So if I should go back and activate 2023, so I click on activate. So this is it. We are currently on 2023. And if I come again to the website and I refresh it, you can see that it changes. All right. You can see now you're having this text side by side, or I mean our blog rather, we're having it side by side. Okay. So it's good. That's what I was saying earlier, that it goes along with changing the layouts, the design, and the feel of your website. Okay. And some themes also comes with some extra functionalities. All right. So, but the thing we are going to be using in this video, we are going to click on add theme. All right. So you can see as at the time of making this video, there are about 7,900 themes on WordPress itself. You can see a whole lot of them, and they are all unique in its own capacity. All right. So, but the one we are going to be using is called Zakra. So you come over here and type Zakra, Zakra. All right, so this is it right here. So just go ahead and install it. There's no need to preview it. So just go ahead and install. So now it has been installed. The next thing you have to do is to activate. So you click on activate. And with that, we already have our theme activated. So another thing you also need to do is, now that we have a theme that we want to use, it's always advisable and the best practice that you should delete any theme that you are not using. For example, this one. So I'll click on it. There's this option to delete. I'll go ahead and delete it. Same thing here. I'll delete this also, and then the last one. So I can go ahead and delete them. All right. So because leaving them, they'll just be taking space on your hosting, and we don't need them. All right. So now that that is done, we already have this theme, which is what we are using. So if you come over here where we have start building with Zakra, you click on this get started button. So click on get started. So now you are asked to choose the builder that we want to use. The builder I want to use is Elementor. Elementor is a page builder. So we have other options like the Gutenberg, Breezy, page layout, BB builder, and the likes. But we are using Elementor. Okay. So here is the category. This is where we are going to select the templates that we want to use. Okay. So if you look right here, you can see we have a whole lot of templates that we can use to create a website. Basically, this is, let me show you the one that we want to use. Okay, let me just select this free so that we can sort it out for us. Okay, so you can see this is the one I want to use, this plumbing, Zakra plumbing, this one I want to use. Now let me also explain something here. Apart from this one that we are going to be using, this Zakra plumbing, you can see that there are a lot of other free theme, There are also free templates that we can also use, free demo sites that we can use. You can see this is for food hunts, this is like a photography, this is for travel, okay. This is for dental service, okay. So you want to create a dental website, okay. You can see there's a theme for you. I mean, there's a template rather. This is for agency, okay. So even beyond using this one, we are going to be making use of, all right. So if you see any other templates or design that match the kind of website you want to create, you can go ahead and select them, not necessarily this, but the process of modifying the information is pretty much the same thing. You can see we have something for construction, for education, another one for dental. This is for e-commerce, okay. So it's that, we have a whole lot of options. You are not only limited to this particular templates. So just go ahead and select this Zakra plumbing. This is what I want to be using. Okay, so next, if you want to change the logo, you can do that here. Now is this logo, but I'll be showing you where you can change the logo. So you don't need to change anything here. Just click on continue and then click on start import. Okay, so ready to import. So yes, you can click on start import. So right now our website is being imported. So this entire website you are seeing here is being imported for us. Okay, so guys, if you are finding value, please give the video a thumbs up. If you are yet to, click on that subscribe button if you are also yet to subscribe. So congratulations, your import is complete. So let's go ahead and view our site. So if I click here to view our site, that opens up in a new tab. And then let me also click this to take us back to our dashboard, okay? So you can see now we already have our website, okay? So it has been imported and everything. This is it right here, okay? Another thing I also want to mention is once you are logged in, okay, and you are logged in and you are trying to view your website, you're going to see this menu here, okay, or this header section where you have your site title, customize, new, edit with Elementor, and your name, okay? So it's not going to be part of your website. It's just because you are logged in, that is why you can see this option. So if you open it from a separate browser where you are not logged in, or if you log out, you are not going to see it, okay? So you don't need to worry. So you can see we already have our website already. So what we want to do next is, like I rightly mentioned earlier, is to update the information to fit the kind of service that we are actually offering, okay, or the kind of service or business you are creating the website for. Because I'm sure it won't be a plumbing website. So how do you go ahead to update all of this information? So that's what I'm going to be showing you. So let me go back to my dashboard. So you can see that now that we've installed our template, our theme, we've brought in our template or our demo site, you can see now we have more options right here. For example, we have Agbleze form, we have Elementor, we now have templates, and under appearance, you can see we have, before we already have themes and I think this. So now we have design, customize widgets, and a whole lot. So how do we go? How does all of these options help us to achieve our desired website? Okay, so to start with updating the information we have here. Now this design, this layout was done using Elementor Page Builder. Okay, so it's a plugin. So if I come back to the dashboard again, if I come over to plugin, let me open that in a new tab. Let me also open pages. Okay, so under plugins, you can see we now have some plugins installed for us. So this starter template is the one that is responsible for those demo that we saw earlier. This was there before. This Agbleze form is for our contact us form. This is what is working for. Let me also show you that. Basically so that you can really understand. So if I open our contact us page, and then you see this form right here, it's a plugin that is working here, where people can put in their name, their phone number, email, the kind of service that they want to, the time, the message that they send. Now this is the plugin that is doing that. Okay, so this Agbleze form. Now this Elementor is a page builder. Okay, so it's a page builder that we're going to be using to create other page. So that's what I was talking about earlier, that some of these plugins had more functionalities and more features to our website. Okay, so let me close that. So in terms of pages, you can see we have some pages created for us already. Okay, but I'm still going to show you how to create your own custom page. Now you can see all these pages were created using Elementor Page Builder. So for you to know, you see it here, Elementor right here. This was using Elementor and this is Elementor, all right? So that's how you know that the page was created using Elementor Page Builder. Okay, now for the home page I made mention of, let me close this. That's how do we go ahead to modify the information. Let me come back to our home. How do we modify this information? There are two ways you can go about it. So once you're on the page like this, or from these pages, you can see this is our home. All right, so once you hover it, you see this option that says edit with Elementor. So just go ahead and click on it. So let me just open that in a new tab. Okay, so this is what you're going to click, edit with Elementor, and it is opening up. So now the page has opened up using Elementor. Now, alternatively, once you are on the page, okay, it could be on page or any page. Once the page was created using Elementor, the design of the page was done using Elementor, you'll see this option where we have Edit with Elementor. So you can also click it here. Okay, so those are the two ways you can go over there. You can just click here once you're on the page, or you come over to pages, you locate the page, and then you see this Edit with Elementor right there. All right. So once Elementor opens up, you're going to be seeing a screen like this. All right. So I can go ahead and close this. So let me walk you through. Okay, you can see to show you some walkthrough like this. Got this. Let me walk you through some of the things you are seeing on your screen. Once you open up a page with Elementor, you are going to see your website on the side. Okay, and you are going to see this side panel also. All right, so let me go through them one after the other. Now, this is what we call structure or navigator. Basically, it shows you different sections of your website. For example, if I should click on this section now, okay, so this particular section I've clicked on, this is it right here. So this section has this text, these images, this information right here. Okay, so for example, if I should click here to open it up, you can see we have this header right here. You can see this is the header here, this another header. And after that, we have this text editor, which is this text you are seeing right here. After that, we have this inner section that has this column, and this column has this image, which is this image here. Beneath it is this text and this heading. Okay, so basically it allows you to see the different sections and how that section is being arranged. Okay, now if you can move it around, you can move it to your right. It will create a sidebar, and if you don't want, you can just drag it out. Okay, personally I like it to float around so I can have more screen to work with. And if you don't want to be seeing it around, you can just close it anytime you need it. Once you click here, it will appear again. Okay, so now this is published. Once you make any changes on your website, on your page, okay, on the page you are working on, do make sure you publish. That publish means you are saving them. So if you don't save it and maybe you shut down or something go wrong, that design is gone. All right, so always make sure you publish once you make any changes. Now this is for preview. If you also make any changes and you want to see how it looks like, you can just click on this preview and it will open up in a new tab. Okay, so you can see the effects. Now look at this is Finder, this is like what's new, this is a checklist. All right, so what you are seeing now, next one here, we have desktop, tablet, and then mobile portrait. So once you are working on your website, now this is the desktop version of this website. Okay, if you want to see the tablet version, you click on it to see what it looks like on tablet. If you want to see the mobile version, okay, yeah, this is what it looks like on mobile. Now the idea behind this is that sometimes you'll be working on your website on a desktop mode, and then you'll see that everything is okay, you know, the layout, the font size, you know, the images, the spacing, and everything looks good. But once you switch to mobile, you'll notice that maybe the text is too big, you know, the spacing is not aligning properly on mobile. Okay, then you can adjust it. Now, for example, let me show you something right here. For this area now, you can see it right here. This is showing side by side. But if you look at it on mobile, you can see this is at the top and the image is just below it. Okay, so this is how it will appear in mobile. Also, I mentioned earlier that for the text now, for example, this text on mobile, let me see. Now the size is 32. Let me see what it looks like on desktop. If I should check the size again on desktop, it's 52. So do you notice that? That means this text is bigger on our desktop. You can see it right here, 52. But if it's mobile, you're going to see that it's 32. And how do you know? Another thing you used to know is if you look here, it's showing us mobile, that is letting us know that any changes that we do now, it will only affect the mobile version. Okay, it will only affect the mobile version. If you want to see what it will look like, if I click here now and I switch to desktop, okay, so it's 52. So that's what I was saying earlier. Now you can only change this, but you can't change the text. Okay, for example, you can't have trust reliable plumbing service on desktop, then you're going to be having maybe trust professional plumbing service on mobile. No. Okay, although it's still possible, but it doesn't work like that. All right, so those are the things that you can actually change. So away from that, we also have this section. If you click on this Elementor logo, you can exit back to away from this Elementor and go back to your page. All right, you can also have this site settings. Okay, and this is history. Now this history is if you make any changes and you want to revert back. Okay, so you can just click here, you select where you want to continue from. All right, and then you'll be fine. So this is for page settings, okay, where you can have your title, your home, okay, and every other of these options that you can see here. If you want to style it, now you might not need to do anything here basically, because remember we've imported a template and the template is good already. So basically the thing that we only want to change here are the informations. All right, but the reason why I'm walking you through some of these things is, so that you can have a foundation knowledge of how Elementor works. All right, then if you click on this plus, this is where all of these options is going to pop up. All right, so right here, these are elements, or you can call them widgets, all right, that you are going to use to create different section of your website. Now, there are a whole lot of them, and you are not going to need everything. For example, now on this particular section, if I click here, it's letting me know that this text was created using heading. How will you know? You can see edit heading. If I should click here also, this was created using heading, edit heading. If I should click on this star, this was created using rating. That's the name of this widget, rating. If I should click here, this is button. It was created using a widget called button. So once you see edit, whatever you see next is what was used to create. Let me show you the last one. This now is showing edit Agbleze form. That means this particular form you are seeing here was done using Agbleze form. All right. So if I come back here and click on this plus, so you're going to see a whole lot of them. We have heading, image, text editor, button, Google Map, icon. The ones that are showing this padlock, they are pro features that are not available to us, okay? Because Elementor has the free version and the pro version. But even with the free version, you can also use it to create a professional looking website. If you scroll down also, you can see we have accordion, image box, okay, basic gallery. All right, so once if you are creating, if you want to practice more, I'll just advise, you drag any of them into your website and see how it works. This is for social icon, SoundCloud. You can see a whole lot of options that are available to you. So how do you go ahead to edit all of this information? Right. So once you're on the page like this, if you click on any of them, in most cases, you are going to see 3 tabs here. We have content, we have style, and then we have advanced. So for editing now, if you are editing a widget, okay, sometimes I might be using this word interchangeably, widget or elements, okay? So if you click on this widget now, this heading, you're going to see content, style, and advanced. Now under content, this is where you're going to see the content itself. So this is where you need to change the text. This is where you're going to change it, okay? Now if you want the text to be clickable, such that once you click on it, it will take you to a particular page or somewhere, you can see, then you add the link right here, okay? So now the next one is style. The style, just like the way if you want to style it, if you want to change the alignment, maybe you want to do center align, you want to align it to the right, you want to justify, or you want to leave it to the left, okay? This is for typography. If you want to change the font family, if you want to increase or decrease the size, it's currently set to 52. If I should increase it so you can see, okay? So let me return it back to 52. Then the weight, this is talking about the thickness. This is currently at 800. If you reduce it to 400, it will look like this, okay? So let me return it back to 800. So there are a whole lot of options right here. Now you might not need to touch everything, okay? You will definitely not need everything. This is to transform. If you want to transform it to maybe uppercase, okay? So instead of typing it all over again, you can do that through here. So if you want to do the line height, the letter spacing, so if I create letter spacing, so if you want to do your line height, okay, this is where you can do all of those. Word spacing also is available. All right, so those are the options that are available here for style. Okay, so different elements will have different style option. All right, then for advanced, okay, where we have under layout, we have margin, we have padding. So let me quickly explain the difference between these two. So for margin is a space that you can see that this particular heading now is within this pink container. Okay, now margin is to add a space outside of this container. Okay, for you can see now, this is the top, right, bottom, and left. Okay, this is with the top, the bottom, this is right, and then this will be the left. Now for the top now, you can see that there is a margin of 16. The margin here that you are seeing here is a space between this box and this next widget you are seeing here, that space. So let me increase it to from 16 to, let's say, 50. So you can see it. You can see as I've moved it to 0, you can see that this widget moves, it's moved up. All right, so let me change it to, let's say, 50. So you can see that there's more space between this widget here and the next one, and the space is outside this pink box. All right, now let me now come over to padding. So I want to unlink it. That means if I should unlink it, that means any number I enter is just for that particular side alone. So if I click here now for padding and I add a padding of 50, you see that there's also a space, but the space is now within this pink box, okay, not outside. All right, so that's the difference. Okay, so as you progress into using WordPress, as is, if you are new to WordPress, you're going to understand the difference. Okay, there are a whole lot of other options right here that you can also play around with, just to, that's for tutorial purpose, okay, to understand how it works and what they do. We also have some other like motion effects, even though they didn't use it here. For example, if you look at this entrance animation, if I should click on fade in, so you can see it will fade in. You might have come across some of this bounce in down, so you can see you might have come across some of this effect on some websites. You know, this is how they do it. Okay, so you can see it here. And if you don't want any of them, you can just select none. Okay, so once you put any of them to, there are some other options that comes with it. Okay, if you want to do transform, if you want to background, okay, for example, maybe you want to add a background color, so you can see it here. Okay, so those are the options that are available. Let me remove it. I'll just click on clear. Okay, so if you want to max, okay, you can also do max. All right, so you can see as I'm doing all of these effects, you can see this publish button as is clickable now. Okay, so that is how you go ahead to click on everything, and then you can change the information. So for this also, fast and efficient plumbing service, this was created using text editor. So you can see it here, edit text editor. This is where you can update it. Okay, you update it, you can see this, you can bold it, you can add italics, you can add any link to any of them. If you also come to style, you can do the alignments, the typography. If you want to add a text shadow, so once I click here, you see that there's a shadow here. All right, and the shadow, you want to change the shadow color. If you want to do the blur, you want to set the position of the shadow, you can do that right here. And if you don't want, just click on this back to default. Okay, text color, if you want to change the text color, you can do that. If this is a link, if there's a link here, you can set the link color. Now for the over option, that means if you over it, what effects do you want to see? All right, so that's it here. So the same thing applies to button. So if you click on button too, you know, this is where we have get a free quote. If you want to change it to something else, or maybe you want to change it to get in touch, so you can see it here. You can easily change the content from here, and then the link that will take you to. All right, so you can come over here and put in that link. So make sure you update all these links. Okay, so to do that, you can just come to your website now and copy this. Maybe this is a contact page, right? So you copy it, copy link address, and then you come and paste it here. So that's one way to do that. Alternatively, if you click on this here, this dynamic tags, okay, I think, no, not that. Let's see. Okay, I think the option is not available here, but you can just follow what I've just said. Just copy the link and paste it here. All right, and that's will be fine. All right, so if you now come to style, so now you can set the position. You can see it's towards the left. If you want it to be at the center, you can see if you want it to stretch. All right, so if you also want to set alignment, typography, text shadow, this is the text color is set to white. The background type is a classic color. You can also do gradients. That's like 2 colors. Okay, so if I click on gradient now, you can see it will be 2 colors, and then you can select the 2 colors that you want to use for it. But I just want to use a classic single color, and then here you can select the color. So for example, now if I want to change the color, I can pick any color that I want. So it's also advisable that whatever color you are using, if you're picking it for the first time, always make sure you save it so that you can use that color again. All right, so for you to save it, just click on this plus. You see create a new color, just give the color a name, and then you save it. So when next you want to use it, just click on this globe, and then you locate the color right here. Okay, so if you want to add box shadow, okay, I think there's a shadow already. You know, if you want to add border width or border radius, this border radius is for the curve. You can see that this curve, there's a curve at the edges. All right, so if I should increase it to, you can see to maybe 30 now. So you can see that the curve is becoming more obvious. All right, so those are the options available for button. You know, different widgets or elements will have different styling option. Then you can come to advanced also. And then, for example, now, if you look at this padding now, you can see that there's a top padding of 32. And you can see the effect here that at the top here, within this pink box, there's a space. All right. So that is it there. If you want to change this image, let's see. If you want to change this image, once I click here, I come over to style, so you can see it's in the background. So I'll just come over to style, and under background, you can see you can click here, and then you'll be able to, you know, either upload your own image or you choose from the image library. Remember, I've said if you need images, you can go to Pixel, Pixabay, or Unsplash. to look for images, all right? And then you bring in your images and then you upload it here. Now under this image also, there are a lot of options. You can set the position, maybe top right. Do you want, is currently set to default. If I should choose fixed now, so that means I can scroll and the image will be fixed. So those are the effects that is available. No repeat, contain, okay. And then we also have background overlay. So most times if you want to have a color over the image, maybe depending on the image, in most cases, maybe the background image you use, if I should add a text on it, the text will not be visible. I can do a background overlay. That means adding a image or a color. So let me say, for example, color now. I can decide to, I think they even use a background overlay because you can see there's a color. So let's say I want to add this, let's say this color as the background overlay. So you can see it. I can adjust the opacity. That means how light or how deep I want the color to be. Okay, so that is it for background overlay. But I don't want to use it. Let me remove it and then, okay, so that's fine. Okay, so that's how you can change the information right here. The same thing we did right here is the same thing you're going to do to all the other sections. If you want to change this image, once you click on it, you see the image here. You can just click on it to update it. Also for this about, if you want to change it, if you click on any of them, you'll be able to update the information. The same button, this is a button, the same way we updated this, you can also do the same thing here. Now, for example, now you see the way we formatted this, we changed this curve to be more, the edges to bend more. I can just copy this and then come here and click on paste style. You can see it will copy the style from there and then bring it here. Okay, so those are some things that you can do. So if I click here too, if you want to change this, same thing. So anything you click on with what I've explained earlier, you'll be able to do that. And if there's any section that you don't want, okay, you can just go ahead and just delete them. You can see there's an option to delete that any section that you don't want. For example, view all services. Now this, you can link it to your services page. Okay, so you just go to your services, you copy the link, copy link address, then you come to where we have links, and then you paste it. Okay, so once they click here to take them to their services page, the same thing with these contacts, you can also copy it. All right, now you can see this particular one, once I hover over it, the color changed. Okay, so if I should click here now, if I come to style, okay, so you can see it's currently set to normal, where I can set my text color, my background color is set to white, which is this. But if I come to over, so right here over, so if I hover over, I can see the text color is white, okay, and the background is transparent. So this is the text color is white, background type is set to transparent. Okay, so let me turn it back to normal. So those are the options, a lot of them are available to you. For example, this is trusted partner. Once you click here, you can use this uses an image carousel. Under image carousel, you can set how many slides to show. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why it's showing 5. Okay, if you want it to scroll, okay, slide to scroll, slide to show, you know, all of these customization options are available to you. This is a testimonial section that was created using text editor. So you click on it to change this testimonial, and then you'll be fine. The same thing, this is an accordion. Yeah, accordion. So once you click on any of them, so this is where you change whatever question you want to change, and then you put in the answer right here. Okay, this is it right here. You change the question, you put in your answer here, and everything will be updated. Okay, so with that, now I've walked you through how you can update the information on your website. Okay, if there's a new section you want to add, so you can see it here, click on this plus flex box. You can choose from this down or 2 column, whatever one you want to choose, and then whatever element you now want to bring, you click on this plus add element. If there's anything you want to bring in, image, you want to bring in a button or a text editor, you can bring them in. Okay, so let me close it back. So the same way we've done to the home page is the same process you are going to do for other pages. Okay, that's the other pages like the about us, the services FAQ page. Okay, it's still the same process. They were all created using Elementor Page Builder. I hope you understand that. Okay, so that is it on how to update the home page or to edit the information on all the pages of your website. So now I'm back to my pages. So you can see we are currently back to pages. And next I want to look at is, what if you want to create a new page? Okay, for example, if you check our website now, we already have the home, about, services, and all these pages. What if for any reason you want to create some page? For example, you might want to create a dedicated page for all of these services. Okay, so that you can just send anyone that click on it and it will take them to that particular page that's dedicated for maybe water heater repair, or any of the services, and then you create content on about it. Make sure your content has enough SEO keywords, and put in every necessary SEO practice so that that page itself for that particular service can rank high. So how do you create a page? So once you're here, you click on add page. So for the title now, I'll add, let me just say water detection. Services. So let me just add that here. So let's say water, okay, leak detection rather. So this should be leak detection services, and then I can just make it okay, let me in then your preferred location in Lagos. All right, so okay, so from here you can then put in the body or the, so once you put in your title, okay, so you might not need to put anything in the body, okay, because you're going to be using Elementor to create the other pages. All right, then you come to page. So you are publishing it immediately, and then there's nothing else to do here apart from this page templates. All right, so it's currently set to default templates. So you might need to choose from any of these, so maybe page builder, Elementor full width, or the default template. Not sure what the default template is, but once you put it, just go ahead and publish, and click on publish. Okay, then let's view the page. Open it in a new tab. All right, so now the page is showing sidebar, but you might not want a sidebar for this page. I don't want a sidebar. Okay, so it's a matter of preference. Okay, that's why I'm not telling you what page template you should go for. So I will change it from this to full width, and I click on save. All right, so let me view the page again. Let me just refresh this. All right, so I think this is fine. So what I'll just do is I'll go ahead and click on edit with Elementor. All right, so now it has opened up. So what I'll just do next is, depending on what you want to achieve anyway, so I can just bring in, click here, and then bring in a 2-column. Okay, you can see 2-column. So on this side now, I'll bring in, let me click on the plus, then I can bring in heading. I can add a suitable heading here. I add my text and everything. I also bring in a text editor. So yeah, I can now write about the services. Okay, you get the concepts now. On this plus now, for this right, I can bring in an image that is related to this particular service. Okay, so then I can just either upload or pick from an existing image. Okay, and then I can just, depending on how many sections I want to create, right? So for example, now if the image here is longer than the text you're having, you can click here and also, set, maybe I want the image to be at the center. Okay, you can also do that. Right, so you can see the other justifying, you can justify the content. I didn't touch this earlier, that's why I just decided to touch it. If you come to style also, you can also give this a background and everything. Now, if you notice that this is too much to the top, maybe you don't want it to be at the top too much, you can just click here on these 6 dots, come to advanced, and then you can add some margin. Let me at the top, maybe I want to add 50. It all depends on what you intend to achieve. Okay, so you can go ahead and then create your page as best fits. Okay, so we just created this page now. So let me go back to pages. I'll come here, exit to WordPress. So once it takes you to this page, you click here. All right, so it will take us back to pages. So with that, we've been able to create a page. You can see this is it now. For example, this page now, you just copy the link. So if you click on view, you right click, you click on copy the link. All right, so for this home page now, once you're on edit with Elementor, you can just, where we have this learn more, so you just update the link. I hope you get what I'm saying. So you update the link to that link so that you can also do the same thing for other services where you create a dedicated page for all the services. All right, and make sure your title, and the content in the page also has enough SEO keyword. And you have gotten that from what I did here when I wrote leak detection service in Lagos. Lagos is a location. All right, so it helps with SEO. All right, there are also plugins you can use to make it better, like Yoast SEO. There's a separate video for that, explaining how to make use of that. All right, so another thing I also want to mention is when you're uploading image into your website, okay, either via media or anything, make sure you rename the image to match the purpose of that image. All right, let's say for example, now this was the image I used for one other video tutorial I did earlier. You can see I renamed it before uploading to the website to shop female gown. All right, because it was an e-commerce website. Okay, so instead of having this random text like pixels, you understand, some random, always rename it. For example, this is a thumbnail that I'll be using for one of my video. You can see I've renamed it to match the title of the video, right? So make sure you also practice that. It's also a good practice to do when creating your website, right? So now that we've created the page, now let's come over to menu. Okay, so if you click on appearance, you see this option here, menu. So click on it. Okay, so currently we have this menu here. If for any reason you want to add anything to this menu, okay, how do you go ahead to do that? If you should go to the footer, we also have this menu. So how do you go ahead to arrange them like that? Okay, so now we're on menu. So this is what the menu page looks like, and we are currently on this. Okay, there are different menu available. If I should click here now, we have the main menu and the quick links. So the main menu, if I click it and select, this is it, home, about, services, and that is what you're having here, home, about, services. We also have the quick links. So if I should select it and click on select, that's where we have the about services FAQ, and that's the one you find below, about services FAQ. Okay, so how do you add a new page? Okay, because it's a list of pages that makes up that menu. How do you add a new page to it? So on this page, you can see we have view all. So this way you're going to see a list of all the pages, okay, that you've created. For example, if you want to add, let's see, if you want to add home to the list of menu under quick links. So once I select home, I can click on add to menu. You can see it will appear right here. And you can also rearrange them. You can drag and rearrange any of them. If you want it to be a sub menu, so you can see it to be a sub menu. That means before you can access home, you need to click on contacts. All right. So apart from using pages, you can also use custom links. So if I click on custom links now, just put in the link here, and then I'll put in the text that I want to appear. All right, and I click on add to menu. You can also use categories for your menu, and then you can also use posts. All right, so once you are done, so let me go ahead and delete this. So let me remove this back. So just make sure you just save. All right, so that's it on the menus and how to create your own menu. And if you want to create an entire different menu, just like we have main menu, quick links, you can see create a new menu. All right, okay, I didn't save earlier. So you can just click on create a new menu. You give it a name. So let's just say I want to do footer menu. All right, and then I'll click on create menu. So it has opened up now. Now I can go ahead and you can see add menu items from column on the left. So I can go ahead and add whatever I want to add. So maybe I want to add this, then I'll click on add menu. Okay, then I click on save. Okay, so depending on in case you want to do any other thing, you might need this footer menu anywhere. So this is how you can go ahead to create your menu. So the next one to look at now is the appearance. So let me confirm if my mic is still recording. Okay, so under appearance, we come to customize. So what we want to look at now is the customization option that we have for our website. So once it's opened up, you are going to see have a menu on the side like this or this sidebar, right? And you're going to be seeing your website. Okay, if you look closely, you see that it's similar to what we have with when we open the page with Elementor, all right? But while that page on Elementor deals with that particular page you are on, all the options you are choosing here deals with the entire website on its own, all right? So you can see it right here. So we're going to look at them one after the other, starting with global. So when we click on global, so under typography, this is where you can select your typography for your website. Okay, that's your font size, the different fonts for your H1, H2, that's H1, H2, H3. Okay, you are going to select the size and the font and everything. Okay, that's for typography. Now you need to take note that some of the things I'll be showing you under this customize option, you might not need to touch them, but I just need to show you where they are just in case you need to. So for color, so this is where you are going to select your color palette. So you can see if you want to change it to this particular one, you can also do that. And don't forget, any changes you make here, don't forget to always publish. And the same way we have it on WordPress, I mean on Elementor, any change you do here, you are going to be seeing the effects. Okay, that's why the website is showing on the site. Let me set this back to default. Okay, and then you can see the theme primary color, this is it, blue, base color is black, and that's why you are going to be seeing that the website is more of a combination of blue. All right, so that's it for colors. Away from that, we have layouts. So this is how you can set how you want your website. It's currently set to this full width. Okay, no, it's set to this normal. So we have full width and we have narrow. All right, so for this narrow option now, you're going to have some space both on the left and the right of the website. If you want your website to be boxed, so you just enable this, you're going to be having that boxed first, like you can see right here now. Okay, so that's the option for box. So let me just uncheck this. All right, we also have the sidebar. Where do you want your sidebar to be? Do you want it to be a right sidebar, left sidebar, or no sidebar? All right, so it's currently set to right sidebar. So pages with sidebar, like the blog page. Okay, let me open up the blog page. The sidebar is at the right, like you can see. So if I should select left, you'll see that it will move to the, okay. Okay, the blog own is different entirely. There's a section for the blog. All right, so let me take it back to the home. That's for layouts, and then we also have button. So if you want to set up some of the button right here, you can also do that, right? So, but that button will not overwrite Elementor's button if the page was created with Elementor. You need to take note of that. So let's look at header. So from the header, this is where we're going to look at the site title and logo. So if I should click on it right here, so this is the site title, this is the tagline. So if you want to change your logo, this is where you can do that. You can see the option to remove, or you can update it. So that means you want to put a different logo. Also the rectangular logo, if you want to change that also, you can also do that. So 2 times the size of your current logo. If your current logo is 120 by 60, then upload to 40 by 120. So that's for your rectangular logo. If you don't have it, you can leave it. Now this is the logo height. Maybe your logo is too small or too big. You can use this height to adjust it. Okay, so you can see it right here to adjust to the preferred height. Okay, so let me return it back to default. Then for your site title, remember this is our site title and our tagline. It's currently disabled. If you don't want it to show here, you can, it's currently disabled, but if you want it, you can enable it, and then it will show up. You can see it's not looking too good because it's too much. So you can then disable it. Also your tagline is currently disabled, right? So those are the options there. Then we also have the menu. Okay, so the menu that we are using, if you want to select how you want your menu to appear, I mean, the menu style, if I hover over it now, nothing happens. But maybe if I want it to underline, once I hover over it, you know, I want that effect, you can see it right here. All right, so those are the options there. If you want to select your color for your menu, the normal color, this is it. If I should hover over it, it will turn to blue. If I'm on a page, it will turn to this color of blue. And that's what we are seeing right here. You see that if I should hover over it, it's blue color. But if I'm on a page like this home page now, it's also blue, but other colors will be black. So this is where you can change that. We didn't use any sub menu, but if you use sub menu, this is at the settings for the sub menu. Okay, so let's leave there. We also have this button 1, which is this request code. So maybe if you want to change it to book now, request code, call now, whatever call to action you want to use, this is where you can change the text. All right, and whatever link you want it to link to, so this is where you make sure you change this link to put it to wherever you want it to link to, maybe to your contact us, or you want it to link to a call. So maybe when you put your call to action like call now, and they click on it, it will dial your number. This is where you're going to put it. Okay, so these are the settings that comes with it: the color, the background, the typography, any padding, and the likes. All right, so that's it for that part. All right, so the next one is for this search, which is this search right here. Then HTML1, let's see what is there. It's for this address. Okay, you can see the address at this top bar. This is where you can update that. Then for HTML2, this is where you're going to update this information for that you can see right here. Okay, is the time, your opening date, and then when you open during the day, right? So you can see it here. So that's how to update that particular part. And don't forget to always publish. Okay, so you can see the arrangement right here. Okay, and if you need to change them, you want to add anything, once you click on this plus, you can pick from any component. You can see available components. You can pick from it right here. So away from the header, we have post content. So post content has to do with the blog. So let me now open up the blog page. So for the blog now, so you can select your content style. It's currently set to normal. Your sidebar is currently set to left. If you want it to be, it's currently set to right. If you want it to be at the left, you can see it has moved to the left. So this is the part that is controlling that of the blog. But let me return it back to the right sidebar. And if you don't want any sidebar, you can select no sidebar. Then how you want the elements to show: featured image, title, meta tag, and content. Now look at it here. We have featured image, title, this is the title, meta tags, all these informations here are meta tags, then content, and then the content. So if you want to rearrange all of these things, you can go ahead and rearrange them. If you want to disable any of them or turn any of them off, you can do that. And you can rearrange it. Maybe you want your title to come first, you can also do that. You can see the title is coming first before the image. So it all depends on you. If you want ideas on how best to do it, you can check your competitor's website to see how they do theirs, right? So single post also, how do you want your single post? That means each of these posts, when you open them up, how do you want it to appear? Where do you want your sidebar? How do you want it to arrange? You can see featured image, title, meta tag, and contents, and that's what we are having right here. And also this meta, post meta, so you can see author. After the author, we have date and category. You can see author, date, categories, then tags and comments. Okay, so all these arrangements, you can also rearrange them, but by default they are also okay. Okay, and if you don't want them to show, for example, maybe you don't want the dates to show so that they will not know when you posted it, you can just disable the date part, so you can see it won't show up. So it all depends on you. So the same thing with meta page and page header. So all of this here has to do with the blog. So just make sure that as you are toggling on or off anything, make sure you are sure of what is going on and going off. All right. So then next one is for footer. So if I click on footer now, so let's check the footer of the website. So these are the widget one. Under this widget one, this is where you set the colors and the title. So let me come back. Okay, and then we have widget 2, 3, and 4. That's for 1, 2, 3, 4. So for widget 2 now, it has to do with the color, the title, all the color, not the content itself. Okay, more of the color and the typography for the footer. Okay, so let's leave here. We are still going to come back to where we can change some of those information. Right. So let's X out of here. So for additional, let's see what is the optimization. This is disabled. Okay, then for scroll to the top, all right, so that scroll to the top is this at the lower right. You can see, you can set the color, and if you don't want, you can disable it. So it's okay. You want to click it, it takes you to the top of the page. Away from that, we also have breadcrumb and widget. The breadcrumb is something like this. Okay, and then we have site identity. So under site identity is where you are going to add your site icon. Just like you can see, most times to be your logo, and it has to be what will show up in your browser tab. All right. So then we have header media. So for header media, okay, they didn't really use header media here. All right, so let's go back. And then we have menus. Okay, so this is where you can also set where you want some of those menus that we created earlier. You can see we have company, footer menu, and menu itself, and main menu, quick links. So you can select the location where you want all these menus to appear. For example, our primary menu. This is our primary menu here. So the menu that we are using is called main. So you can see it here. While our footer menu, let's see. Okay, the mobile menu is also set to main. All right. So that's it for the menu locations. And then next one we have widgets. Okay, so for the widgets, you are still going to look at it from a different options here. So let's leave this. Now for home page settings, let me go back to the home page. For the home page settings, this is the page that's going to show up when people try to access your website directly from your domain name. So where do you want it to take them to? A static page, and you are going to select the page to be your home page. Okay, so that means once they type in your domain name into the browser, it should take them to a static page, and this is where you are going to select the home page you want it to take them to, or any other page. So by default is always the home page. All right, so the only time you might want to use latest post is when you are running a blog. Okay, so you want them to always go take them to the blog page or to your latest post. Okay, so most times it's always blog, and this is where you're going to select where do you want your post to appear. And if you are creating a blog post, where do you want it to appear? Let it to appear under the blog page. All right, so those are the options that are here. So don't forget to always publish. All right, so with that, now we've gone through all the options that are available under the customize. Okay, so now let's come back to our dashboard, and let's go back to appearance, and now let's go to widgets. All right, so let me click on widgets. So now we're on the sidebar. So this is where you can set the options for your sidebar. You can see sidebar right, sidebar left, and then we have footer 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we are going to go through them. So for the sidebar right, this is where you're going to add some of the widgets that you want to appear. For example, on our sidebar right, you can see we only have recent posts. Okay, so if you want to add more options to it, so you can see once you click on this plus, there are a lot of things that will appear that you can add. If you want to add image to your right sidebar, you can easily do that. So if you click on browse all, so let me close this. You're going to see a lot of things that you can add. If you want to add image, if you want to add maybe a social share, let's see what you can add. You can just pick from a whole lot of options here. Okay, so if you want to add let's see what else, maybe image or anything at all that you want to add. If you want to add menu or anything, you can always pick them from here, okay, to add to it. All right, and this is it right here. So if you also scroll down, we have our footer one. So if you check our footer, if you want to update this information here where you have your logo, this text, and your social icon, so this is where you can also do that. You can see this is the logo right here. Okay, it's white, the same thing with the background. That's why you're not seeing it. Okay, and you want it to link to a part. Once you click on it, it should take you to the home page. So you update this link to your home page. All right, so you can just over here, the right click, and then you copy link. So let me copy this, then you paste the link to your home page. You update this text. Then for the social media one, so once you click on this, you'll be able to add you can see your social media link, and if anyone that you're not using, you can just remove them from the list. Okay, so that's it for there for footer 2, which is for quick links. All right, navigation menu, and then here you select which of the menu you want to use for your quick links. Okay, so that's how that was done. The same thing with 3 and 4. So let's see footer 3, which is for footer 3. Just click here, you can see here that's for footer 3. Okay, so that's the menu that was used for those. Then for footer 4, you click here. So this is where you can update your contact information. Instead of this email, you put in your own email, and then your phone number and every other information. So if you also want to know how to create a custom email, maybe like info@yourdomainname.com, I already have a separate video explaining that. So once you check the channel, you'll be able to do that, and you can do it for free. It's actually free since you are getting an hosting already. So you'll be getting free custom emails. All right, so there's a separate video for that. All right, so we don't have footer 5, so I don't think anything will be there. All right, so anything you do right here, don't forget there's also an option here to update. Okay, so make sure you update wherever you do here. So that is it on that. So let's come back to our website. So with that being said, I believe we've covered everything that we need to know about creating a website and how you can create a service-based business website. All right, so guys, I also believe you've learned a lot. If you do, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you are yet to. If you have any question or any doubts, do let me know in the comment section below. Now before I go, also, there are some plugins that you might also want to include into your website, to add some more features or functionalities to your website. For example, you might want to add your website to Google Search Console. So the plugins you are going to use for that is Google Site Kit. Also, you might want to add a chat button. Okay, for example, if you want to add this to your website now, for example, you see this. Once I click on it, I can click here to call, to connect directly to WhatsApp, or to send a mail. Okay, and then another plugin that I also recommend you also install is the Yoast SEO plugin. All right, there's a separate tutorial for all of those plugins. Okay, so I don't just want to add it to this video so that it won't be longer than necessary. So do make sure you look at this is the Yoast SEO plugin. So you install it, and you can see advanced SEO with real-time guidance and built-in AI. So the other one is Google Kit. So that will also help you add your website to Google Search Console and Google Analytics. You can see it right here. Okay, so with that, guys, I've covered what I want to cover in the course of this video on how to create a website. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll leave a timestamp in the description of this video, and also don't forget to take advantage of the hosting I recommended earlier, to take advantage of the 75% discounts and the free domain you are going to be getting. All right, so with that, guys, my name is Prosper, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye for now.